Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Preston Glad, and I make videos about randomness. Today we're going to be talking about motovlogging, and specifically the DJI Action 2 and the Freewell ND filters. Now, there's a lot of sponsored Freewell ND filter content out there. This is not. I purchased this with my own money. In fact, every camera system I have, from my Sony a7 IV to my GoPro to the DJI to the Pocket 2 you're watching right now, every camera system I have, I use the Freewell ND filters. And I've paid for all of them. I just think they're the best bang for your buck. You know, they're not cheap, but they're not expensive either compared to like your Peter McKinnon's. They're kind of that sweet spot. So being a small-time YouTuber, you know, I just do this for fun. And moving to Hawaii, you know, I kind of had to search for content. I was an overlander and did a whole lot of backcountry adventures, but in Hawaii you really can't do that. Hawaii's a beautiful place and it's a great place to visit, just not conducive to my lifestyle in terms of what I like to do outdoors. It's kind of limiting. You can go to the beach and you can have a lot of fun. So I went ahead and bought this 2022 KLR 650. It is the adventure model, and basically it just comes with a few extra bells and whistles. It comes with the hard cases. It comes with a little engine guard down there. It comes with the USB-C USB-A connection, and then a cigarette lighter connection right here, and then it comes with 2 fog lights on the front. I mean, for the extra money, I think it's worth the cost. You know, this is a bike that you can just have a lot of fun with. You know, you're not going to go fast. You're not going to go, you know, extreme off-road with it, but it does a little bit of everything. You can do a little bit of highway. You can do a little bit of 2-track, single track. In fact, there are some people out there on the back wheel. If you check out his channel, he treats this thing like it's, you know, like a 2-stroke motocross, you know, enduro bike, whatever. It's crazy what he does. I'll never do anything like that with this right here. So I'm kind of getting him outside of what the purpose of this video is, and that is motovlogging. So trying to find the perfect motovlog setup has been fairly difficult. There's so many just ins and outs, and you need this and you need that and you need this gadget and you need this adapter and that adapter. There's no straightforward answer out there. There are a couple of companies that do make you know, motovlogging kits specifically for motovlogging, but their quality is not very good. And you know, I think the best options out there are going to be the GoPro, the DJI Action 2, and then even the Pocket 2. I'm going to have another video coming out where I have the Pocket 2 mounted. So one of the things, you can just set these on auto and go, and you'll get okay footage. But if you really want to get, you know, I hate to use this word, the cinematic footage, you know, you really need to shoot in 24 frames per second and use the 180 degree shutter angle rule. And basically what that is you want your shutter speed to be double what your frame rate is. And so at 24 frames per second, that's 48 frames per second. And a lot of these cameras only have 1/50th, which is fine. But what that does, you know, these are single aperture. This is an f2.8, I believe. And so you can't really, the only way to control the amount of light with exposure level is really, you know, increasing that shutter speed, other than getting ND filters. Now, I was initially kind of leery on this ND filter because this is just simply a magnetic ND filter, and I was afraid it would blow off. I've taken it out and tested it today. I just got these in a couple days ago. I take it out and tested it today, and it wasn't, you know, massive winds. You know, it wasn't 80-mile-an-hour winds combined with my riding speed plus the gusts, and I didn't get a whole lot of side winds, but you know, it's always windy here in Hawaii. And so today I rode max speed, maybe 50 miles an hour, with winds up to 20-mile-an-hour gusts, and it held on there just fine. The only way it's going to come off is if you're fiddling with it. I did initially, when I first put my helmet on, I had knocked it, and I knocked it kind of sideways. It didn't come off completely, but it kind of went sideways. But once I fixed it, it wasn't a problem after that. The Freewell, I think it's the all-day filter pack, or they have a couple different versions. You can buy individual, and really I think, you know, if you want to do that and save money, that's kind of the way to go. If you're going to use an ND filter, really, ND 16 is all you need. You don't need anything else. If you need below an ND 16, then you just take it off and just put it back in auto mode. It's not really worth, you know, going through all the trouble for ND 8 or ND 4. And I think there's any situation you need an ND 32 that I've found. So I think if you just want to order the ND 16, that's fine. But I do have the all-day pack, which comes with the ND 8, 16, 32, and then it comes with a CPL, a circular polarizer, which you can adjust it, and it will stop the reflections of the sun in certain colors. The sky will show up better. I don't use that. That's something I would use on my big A7 IV. So taking a look here, the filter, it just clips on. There's two magnets on either side, and it just simply clips right into place like that. And it will hold pretty good. I mean, you don't have to really worry about it. So I have it set to 4K 24 frames per second in the 16:9 aspect ratio with Rocksteady turned on. And you're going to go over here to your manual settings, and I have it in Decine-like, because if you don't want to color grade, you don't have to do Decine-like, but I kind of like to color grade. All you have to do is pretty simple, just kind of pull your highlights down, your mid-tones up or down, and increase your shadows or whatever. It's fairly simple. You don't have, and then add a little bit of saturation, and you're good to go. But for the exposure, I have it on manual. I have it on 1/50th of a second for the shutter speed, and then I have 100 to 6400 ISO range. And I find that even at 6400 ISO, the footage is still usable, especially when you're out motovlogging, if you get into kind of a dark underpass or something like that. Now for my helmet setup, I have a chin mount, and chin mounts, I'll link them down below. They're basically 35 bucks for 3D printed little mount, but they make it specific for your helmet. And so I have that on here. I think it's worth it. I did have the clasp, the Dingo Designs clasp that went on here, but I'm kind of whacking my chest, and I just didn't like it. So I like this setup a lot better. And then I have the DJI magnetic GoPro adapter there. And so this just basically snaps right on. And it's far enough to where I actually just have the standard GoPro. Actually, this is the one that moves, but the standard GoPro one will work too. So this has a little hinge right here, and you can move this back and forth if you wanted to. See how that works? But I have it all the way back because when you're riding, you want this to be kind of facing up because your helmet's facing down. Now, one of the things about the DJI is it will take an external mic, but it is finicky. So it only likes the Apple adapter. So it's a 3.5 to USB-C adapter, and then that's going to plug into the side right here. All right, so you see there's a little icon. Unplug it, and the icon goes away. If you look at the top right up here, plug it back in, and the little icon shows back up, and it will go up and down as you talk to show that it's got increased audio. Now I have that ran to a TRS to TRS because I have a TRS Sony lav mic, and then I have most of it just kind of curled up right here with a little keeper. Got it pushed up in my helmet, and then in the very inside of my helmet, I've got the mic, the one that have the Sony mic. It's the ECM. I don't know. I'll figure out what it is and put it in the link below. It's got a little clip on it, and it just clips right into the vent. There's a vent on the inside of the helmet, and it's actually the vent. And so you can turn the vent on and off here, and you can also do it from the inside. And so that little clip on there's enough space where it just clips right on the inside, and it's out of the way. So that kind of solves my problem. One other thing about having a microphone on here is you can actually adjust the gain, and you can adjust it however you see fit. I keep mine at 0 because having it right, literally, it's almost touching my mouth, and honestly, I kind of blow it out sometimes. So I really have to watch, talking kind of loud. But if you have a mic that's really quiet, you can adjust your gain right here in this menu. So one of the things that I've noticed is the screen module here, the bottom section is not waterproof. Only this top module is waterproof. But I just went out testing it earlier, and I got a little sprinkle, a little rain shower, and at first I was going to pull over and take it off. And I was like, you know what? I have the DJI Care Refresh, whatever it's called, to where if it goes bad on me, they'll replace it for up to 2 years. So I thought, let me push it a little bit. It's not a downpour, it's just a sprinkle. Let me see what it'll do. And so it got wet, and I found out what happened is if water gets in the USB-C port here, I guess the camera detects it and knows it, and I think it just shuts the port down because my initial clip when I took off, I had audio from the mic, and then the next few clips after that, probably a good 20 minutes of riding, I didn't have, the only audio was actually from the DJI Action to all the 4 cameras on board itself. And then one of my last 2 clips, after I'd been riding around for a while and it had been raining for a while, the mic kicked back in, and at first I thought, well, maybe this came loose, but the way I have this set up here, there's really no way that it's going to come loose. It's just, even the wind blowing this around, this is super, super tight. I mean, you'd have to really pull on that, And so I think what happened is water got in the USB-C port, and the camera knew it, and it shut it off. Because again, after several clips after that, the mic started working again after I had been out of the rain and riding for a while, and I guess it had time to dry. So that is a safeguard. So the other setup I have here, I do have the GoPro Hero 10 with the GoPro Volta, and then I have the media mod. Now the media mod will take rain as long as you don't have anything plugged into the back ports here. So if you unplug everything from the back ports here and then put these flaps on, it can withstand some rain. Probably not a torrential downpour or a hurricane, but just regular rain, especially if the rain's hitting the front of the camera, I think you'll be okay. But right now I have the Volta plugged into it, and then I can use it for backup audio, or if it starts coming a torrential downpour and I can switch to this and I can have the audio from the media mod, which isn't the best, but I can put it on the rear camera, and in a pinch it would work. And I have that ran to ram mount. All right, so with all that rambling out of the way, let's go ahead and get on the road, and you can take a look at what the DJI Action 2 with the Freewell ND 16 looks like. I'm already going to have to pull the dang battery on this GoPro Hero 10. So this next part's just going to be a kind of a tour, not a tour, just a run through of parts of Honolulu and Waikiki, so you can see what the cameras look like. And again, the DJI Action 2 and GoPro are both running the same settings with the same ND filters, and so you can see the difference. The GoPro is just pointing towards me, and the Action 2 is just pointing toward the GoPro. It is 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah, it's 5:40 here, so it is rush hour traffic. So I definitely want to take my time here, because people do drive like maniacs and will just cut you off. They don't care. I don't come down here much. It's just too crowded, too busy. It's super touristy. A little moped with a surfboard on it. But I figured that, for you guys, woo, he flew into that and they're stopping there. I figured that for you guys, we'd have a little look-see. A little ride down here. You see all the tourists. We will come down here and walk occasionally. If you do the loop from Ala Moana Park to the end of Waikiki and back, it's about 8 miles, so it's a good little exercise. And this is the heart of Waikiki. This is where most people come to Hawaii, and they spend 90% of their vacation right here. Right on the other side of these hotels is the beach. We'll get a quick view here in a moment. But this is it. This is what everyone comes to Waikiki for. I got to be careful. The cops will pull me over here. I'm not speeding. I think 25 is speed limit, but there are the cops right there. But yeah, they'll get you. This is about the only place you'll ever see a Honolulu police officer. So here's the Waikiki beach, and the surf is up. Oh my goodness! You can't see this on the camera, but the surf is definitely high for the South Shore. I think I read a report though that it was supposed to be high. Yeah, I should have pulled over right there. Taking a look at the surf. I think there's an area I can pull over up here. Trying to let some of this traffic pass. because I'm kind of cruising. Doing like 20 to 25. Oh. Try to go over there to the War Memorial. It's the old pool. Duke, the father of surfing, he was the first one to swim at that pool. He did like the opening dive into the pool. The nice thing about having a motorcycle is you can squeeze into some of these tight spots here. Like right here. So we'll just hop out here and take a quick look at the surf. So this is where having the GoPro with the Volta grip comes in handy. And just hop off the bike. We'll also get some footage with the Action 2 here. It's on the Helmet, and you can see the waves are kicking on the South Shore today. This is the south side of Waikiki. There's a little resort right here, and then this is the World War I memorial, or this is the War Memorial. Back then there was only one war, World War I. World War II hadn't happened yet. And it's kind of dilapidated. They haven't had the funds to fix it and keep it up. So this gives you a little bit of the background and the history. It was conceived in 1919 as a living memorial to honor Hawaii's military and civilian and World War I contributions. But now it's just kind of a relic that hasn't really been taken care of. Alright, well, there's a quick little peek into Waikiki, and then we stopped out here at, take a look at some of the waves. It's a beautiful day. Most days in Hawaii are beautiful, except for all the tourists. That's kind of a bummer, but you know, what can you do? Oh, back in this big old beast up is pain in the butt. It's almost 500 pounds. And we'll head home. Well, I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you found this interesting. We'll do some more touring of Hawaii, Oahu specifically. And look forward to more content. If you had any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I am going to be doing another video soon on the DJI Pocket 2 and the feasibility of using it for motovlogging, which it does work. And that should be coming out as soon as I get a chance to get out on the bike, which is anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks. Actually, I am going to be taking a trip to the mainland here, middle of June. Going to be going into North Carolina, going all the way through to Tennessee, Oklahoma, down into Texas, and then back here to Hawaii. So I'll do some content on that. Maybe we'll get to do some touristy stuff in a non-touristy area. So I appreciate you hanging out with me. Have a wonderful day. Aloha.